Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Thanks for joining me again today. Today I want to begin from Luke chapter 1, Zechariah's prayer. And in verse 78 he says, "By the tender mercies of our God, the dawn of heaven will break in on us," or dawn from on high will break in on us. Tenderness is not something that we usually associate with powerful people. Often people in positions of power or people who have great authority and great power are not people we would call tender. In fact, I think sometimes we would actually feel like tenderness is weakness in people of great power. And yet, that is a word that's used to describe God, his tender mercies, that he's tender. In the Old Testament, we see in Isaiah, he talks about, "I will carry you like a shepherd carries a lamb close to his heart." That's tenderness. Tenderness is compassion and kindness, a willing to be sympathetic, empathetic, caring. And like I said, oftentimes we don't associate that with people in positions of power. Certainly the gods of the ancient world were not tender toward people, anything but that. But yet our God is a tender God. It means, he cares about us and is concerned about us. I think tenderness has a concept with it that it's more than just I care about somebody, but I care at an emotional level in myself. It's not like, oh yes, I care about the poor, but it's that soft-heartedness that actually feels with those who are going through difficult times or those that are struggling. One who is tender towards that. I've heard people describe that sometimes. They were tender towards the things of God, or they were open to them, they were sensitive to them. That is our God's attitude toward us. He is tender toward us. He's not hard-hearted. He is not other outside focused. He's people focused. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we can lose our tender heartedness when we become hardened to life, when we let disappointments hurt us, when we go through the difficult times and it seems like we're all alone in them. Sometimes we can kind of grow hard-hearted and lose our tenderness. Or we can look at somebody else going through something and say, they just need to pull their socks up and get on with it, like I've done. That's not tenderness, is it? And that's not our God. Our God is never, when we fail over and over, when we get up and then we're down and then we're up and then we're down, God does not get hard-hearted about that. He stays tender toward us. In one scripture in the Psalms, it says he remembers that we're dust. He remembers our weaknesses. He remembers that we're weak, and he takes that into consideration. That's part of God's tenderness toward us. Now, I know this idea of tenderness when it comes to food is a whole different meaning, but I think there are some crossovers there. If a steak is tender, it means it comes apart easily. It is easily digested. It is easily, easy to eat. There's a sense with our God that God, he is easily pulled apart. Now that doesn't make sense, does it? His heart is easily tugged on. Does that make better sense? He's tender that way. A tough steak, boy, it's hard to pull that piece of steak off. But when it's very tender, it's easy to have it move. It's easy to have it impacted. That's our God's heart toward us. He is easily moved by our tragedies and our hurts and our difficulties and our weaknesses. He's tender toward us. That's a wonderful, wonderful quality, isn't it? That's our God. That's who he is. Our God is a God of tender mercies. I'm very thankful for that. So as we go before him today, we can come with full confidence that whatever we lay before him, whenever we lay our life out before him today, he will treat us with tenderness. That's a wonderful thing to know. So let's think about that and give him thanks for it. We'll talk again tomorrow. God bless.